Welcome back to the No Morning Show, ladies and gentlemen. And a couple weeks ago, a whole heap of local producers have been invited to join the Recording Academy. And this morning, I want to chat about that with owner and producer Precision Productions, Casey Phillips, as well as producer and manager Anson Pro, Anson Soverall. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, good morning.
Morning all.
All right, so Casey, I understand that you were the person responsible for training up everybody to apply to become part of the of the Recording
I
Academy.
like that phrase you using there at all.
Sorry, sir. You were the inspiration that the young producers used in order to access the academy. Is that true?
Partly, I mean, myself and Anson, we discussed it before. We had different connects in the Grammy Association, and it's something we've been trying to push for a while to get more representation in the Grammy Association. And yeah, we did a push with the producers because that's who was accessible first. The goal with that now is to now start expanding and go into the artists, writers, musicians, journalists, you name it. We're trying to cause that chain reaction to get more representation.
All right, Anson, tell me, why is representation important in the academy?
I mean, right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to sort of create our own little footprint in the academy. And as you can imagine, for many years, soca has not had great representation. I believe it was just Casey and Mice alone. So it was very important for us to try and get a couple more foot soldiers inside, and I think we overdid it, Casey.
I mean, it still have plenty to go. It have plenty to go.
Plenty to go.
It was great. It was great that so many guys got in. We're trying to make some noise. So if we make some noise in the other categories, then they'll say, "Oh, okay, something happening here."
When you say make noise in the other categories, what does that mean?
So right now the closest things that we resemble, which is a hot topic, but the closest things that we resemble is either world or reggae. Soca is not fully recognized yet on the Grammy side. So we kind of have to make some noise in those categories to say, hey, these guys actually have numbers. These guys making sales. They're getting spins. We need to change something. And that's one of the only ways we could start to see change for soca.
What are the benefits of having a category in the Grammy Awards? Because the Grammys are celebrating American music, yeah?
I think it's beyond American, it's worldwide as well, because they have world and global now as well.
But what are the benefits to having the category, Anson?
You've seen that Jamaica reggae, for example, they've been constantly bringing on Grammys, and the reason for that is because they have their own category. So obviously, the benefits are having your own category would pull you out of competing with Latin America and Africa, for example, and then hone you into your own space where you compete amongst, I guess, regions that do your genre. So obviously that means we have a more realistic chance of bringing home a Grammy if we have our own category.
But it's very interesting because we don't even have a proper awards here for us for soca music here in Trinidad and Tobago.
I don't think I want to touch that topic at all.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But I think it's an important part of the conversation, because if we're gonna expect the Americans or the foreigners or the world to look at us and see what our charting system is, how do we rate who is the best and who is not, and they look at us and they don't see anything, how are they going to progress?
I still don't want to touch that topic. You're not getting me to do that.
Casey?
Nah. I don't think they affect each other, to be honest. I think they could operate independently. And to go back to what you were asking about, what are the benefits? I mean, the Grammys is the most prestigious award for music. So it's kind of like putting the stamp on, hey, this is soca. Now we have a soca award or a soca song or artist getting that recognition. Is only upwards that we could go from there. And you name it, like, for example, and you might think this funny, if an artist, answer my laugh at this, if an artist win a Grammy, they get an automatic entry for visa and green card. Is easy. That's just one of the things. You have recognition from major labels now, so they start to turn eyes to Trinidad and the Caribbean and the region. oh, this soca thing was this. Because right now, yeah, we have carnivals, but it's not internationally recognized to that level. So
Right.
it's a lot of benefits. We could be listing them all day, but that's just a few.
No, because I think people need to understand why it is that this is significant. These producers being invited to join the academy. Why is
Mhm.
it significant for us? That's really what I'm trying to get to the bottom of in this conversation.
And also, I think the biggest thing is you start to now pull the economic side away from just carnival and a seasonal thing. You can
Yeah.
start making money right around the year.
So guys, you two have been producing for artists that do more than just soca, right? You guys produce more than just soca. Casey, I was just the one I played to enter there was from our city.
Yeah.
And Anson has been working with Nyla since her inception into pop culture, into fame, into soca music, right?
Mhm.
Um, how have the numbers for things like streaming have they improved with this pandemic? Have you all been able to see benefits of streaming?
I would say the numbers have increased, and I think that's because people are home now. I mean, yes, there was an increase in streaming. Would it be enough on a world scale to compete? No. And that's why, again, we go back to these categories important.
Mm-hmm.
A Latin artist, the most basic average Latin artist will be doing in the hundreds of millions, if you understand what I mean.
But is
But
that not based on population size of where the market is?
it is geographically all right. So how it works is Trinidad, we don't actually get the full amount of views that we're supposed to have based on the geographic region, and these companies, they do this as a way to make money, right? It's all about making money. So you actually have to pay for sponsored links to try and get your song to be seen by more people in different geographic locations.
Mm-hmm.
So Trinidad, just if you just have to rely on your regional views, you can't compete now. It's a no brainer now. So, but to answer your question, yes, streaming has gone up slightly for the soca market or for the Caribbean market, but that's just because everybody is at home now and there's not much to do now. You know, as they say, Netflix finish.
Now, I've heard fellow producer Travis will say that, you know, the money that comes in from streaming is not enough to be able to do the sort of things that we see, you know, international producers and artists doing, because we do have that the numbers. So I'm guessing it relates directly to what you're saying in terms of the geographic location, or is it that there just aren't enough people willing to pay for soca music as it stands?
Well, streaming and paying is two different conversations.
Yeah, the
Huh?
pay to stream,
Well, no, well,
unless
the
it's YouTube.
streaming is trickle money. You know, we're talking 0.002 cents.
Then,
Casey is
yeah, yeah.
that is trickle money. What
Mm-hmm.
you talking about paying is like it's like actively supporting your artist and purchasing the album or purchasing. That is a we are not from the culture where that is like something very popular in the Caribbean. We don't buy albums or buy
Mhm.
music necessarily. We come from the era where you walk down the road to the nearest boombox on the side and you buy a boom CD, and that culture has trickled down now. So now what you find is the newest generation they support, but they support by subscribing to like Apple Music and iTunes,
Right.
and then they have access to everything. So again, it's an interesting topic. I feel like Casey and all might be able to explain better because he's been selling his album for many years.
Mhm.
But I would say we just not that culture. We're not from the school of oh I'm gonna support this artist by paying for their music.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, we slowly getting there because a lot of the younger generation getting on streaming and Tidal, AudioMac, Apple, Spotify. But even to answer where you asked before, Spotify only just really get enabled properly in the
In
Caribbean.
the Caribbean, yeah.
So before that, it was pure. It was just it couldn't use it. It was YouTube and Apple Music.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone could show you how much of our market share we're missing on just streaming income.
Okay.
mind you, YouTube doesn't actually
Pay you.
pay for regional views as yet. Huh? So
Yeah.
most of the views come from this region, and you're not getting paid on most of those views. So to answer the original question, is the streaming money enough to compete? It's not. It definitely is.
And at this time, I know it's very interesting because everybody going online. And then if we're not seeing the revenue come in, people still expect music. They expect music videos. They expect performances.
Yeah.
And
But
the artists...
one thing also is that, yes, streaming may have stayed constant, but we get a huge uptick when carnival time comes around.
Really?
So without that, it's literally staying this way for the year. So yes, it stayed constant, but we didn't get the big chunk of, oh, carnival coming, let's go.
And that chunk tends to last for the year when it comes to the financial side of things.
I mean, latter part of end of the year into carnival is a huge bump, but it does affect everybody in the industry bottom line.
Right.
And
that trickle down happens to the rest of the economy as well. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us this morning, and congratulations on the work that you've been doing to get more members into the academy. And, we'll invite you back, Casey, when it's time for registration again so that you could lobby to get more people.
Myself and Anson, we definitely need to come back when we start spreading it to now the writers, the songwriters, and different persons who want to get involved.
And explain the process and break it down as easily as possible. But we'll do that another time when it's closer to the registration time. So thank you so much, gentlemen. Casey Phillips and Anson Soverall, producers of soca music and so much more. We take a quick break and come back with more in our morning show. Please stay tuned.